All right, week 6, set 2, SWYK 2. All right, so starting with, this is kind of a similar type question, but this one didn't have a picture, right? Write the equation of a parabola in vertex form. Given the vertex, well, heck, that makes that easy, right? It's 3 to the right and 4 up. Okay, so we should be able to make an equation that says 3 to the right and 4 up, but we don't know what the a value is. So one technique, graph it. And if it's nice, like this one, right? 3, 4, right? And then 2, 1. Okay. Can I not count? Gee, many Christmas. 2, 1. So my graph is a little bit off, right? Because it should go 1 to the right or left and then down 4. So it should have been there. Yee whiz, man, Staley, that's terrible. You're right about that. Because you're supposed to go 1 over and down 3 units. You should be able to see that, right? Over 1 and down 3. But if you don't draw the graph right, you end up with something horrible. Let's see if I can get rid of it. Maybe. I don't know. I'll just zoom way in and see if I can get rid of the red one. Yes! All right, sorry. Simple things in life. So anyway, it was supposed to be dropping down 3, so everybody and their brother should know that that is a -3. But let's just say we had some weird points, and we had to do it the old algebraic way, right? So we could take our 2, 1, our 2, 1 and plug it in, right? 2 for x, 1 for y. As I said before, move this to the other side. You'll be so much better off if you did. Subtracting 4 gives me -3. 2 minus 3 is -1. -1 times -1 is +1. So we end up with, hey, the exact same thing we started, that we knew of. We knew it was going to happen that way. So that's nice that it worked out. Question 2, write the function in vertex form. Okay, now we're starting off with standard form, and you want me to write it in vertex form? Okay, well, one of the cool things that we can notice right away is that the a value is -1. So everybody should know that the a value is -1, and we should write it in our equation at the beginning. Now, if you just want to put a negative sign, kind of like they did right here, and not write the number 1, that's okay too. Okay, in fact, Math Excel probably would like that better, but it still shouldn't count off for anything. Okay, so how do I find the vertex? Well, we had our little trick earlier, right? Opposite of b over 2a, right? If we do that little opposite of b over 2a thing, opposite of -7 is +7. 2 times -1 is -2, so we get -3.5. I don't care if you write it as a fraction or a decimal. It really shouldn't matter at all. Now, since it's negative, remember that means it's going to the left. We know that it will look backwards on the inside. Now, how do I find the y value that goes with it? Of course, I plug it into the equation for both of the x's, right? We got -x squared minus 7x and then a +3. When you add that together, you get 15 1/4, and that means that the whole graph went up 15 1/4. So, plus 15.25. Question 3. We're starting out in vertex form, and they're asking us to sketch the graph of the quadratic and the function of the axis of symmetry. Well, you know, we know I would actually suggest that you would find the vertex first. I mean, -2, +1, right? 2 to the left and 1 up. Then I would suggest you find the axis of symmetry. Why? Because once you have the vertex, you automatically know the axis of symmetry. Of course, it's always x equals a number. So, and then this thing does open down. We know because the a value is -4. And you can see up there I wrote the 1a, 3a, 5a, so I could help myself in the whole graphing process. And we are dealing with a maximum value, and that maximum value is 1. Remember, maximum is, these two terms refer to y values. Okay, and it occurs at x equals -2. Now, where did I get both of those pieces of information? Heck yes, I got them from the vertex. Okay. Now, two terms that we haven't talked about, increasing and decreasing, okay? So I kind of drew a generic looking picture for this particular graph down here in the red. The terms increasing and decreasing are always moving from left to right, always. So as I look at the graph, I'm going to describe pieces of the graph as they move from left to right. The terms increasing and decreasing are about the y values, okay? And why can't I spell the word values? Serious. Okay? They are about the y values. So we want to know, when is it going up and when is it going down? Think about it like a roller coaster as you move through the graph from left to right. So in this particular situation, we have isolated. You'll see that I used blue parentheses around the negative infinity to negative 2. If you kind of look at a graph, you know, they're splitting it up, negative infinity on the left, positive infinity on the right, negative 2 in the middle. So the blue one, which is this section over here of the graph, from negative infinity to negative 2. Well, if you're on a roller coaster, you'd be going up, 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 up. So that makes this an increasing section. Well, you get to the top of the hill, and then you start to go down. So the green part here that I've highlighted is the next section. Oops, gotta freeze it. The next section over here, and obviously that part is decreasing. You'd be going down on the roller coaster. Now, don't always think that the left is increasing and the right is decreasing. Why do I say that? Well, what happens if we flip the doggone thing around? What happens if it's now an upright and one that opens up? You know, then you're going to have to think about the minimum, right? The minimum y value of this graph would have to be 4. And it occurs at an x value of negative 6, right? Because that's the vertex, negative 6, positive 4. So, but that is a minimum situation. So, what about increasing and decreasing on that section? Well, for the left, the negative infinity to positive infinity, being this section over here, we are coming down. Remember, everything's moving through the graph left to right, so it's coming down. So that's decreasing. Well, you get on the other side, right? You get on that other side over here, and now you are increasing. Okay, so negative 6 to infinity is in the increasing section. Anyway, so that should be enough for that particular video.